Okay, the books in the Power Pop Prime series are coming out fast. We had Volume 7. This was Volume 7 that came out at the end of last year, and 300 pages with this little bugger. And back in February, Volume 9 came out, 300 more pages, and books coming with lots of CDs and stuff like that too. And now it's time for Volume 1. Volume 1 is going to be shipping in a few short weeks, around May 14th. Now is the time to go. We've been pre-ordering these for the people that have purchased these previous books. They're very limited. They're about 500 that are printed up. There are only about 120 left right now at the beginning of May that are available for order. So now is the time to take action and check out the information that is below. These first two volumes, Volume 1, again, is what's coming out in a few weeks in the middle of May. And then Volume 2 is coming up right away at the end of June. These two particular books, for me anyway, but I think for a lot of people, are very, very special. Why? Well, they focus on the mid-late 90s years in the history of Power Pop. And as I mentioned below, I think these are the most special years in the history of the genre other than the late 70s. It was a true renaissance time. There was a massive explosion of talent that came onto the Power Pop scene during these years. And there were thousands of bands, literally. There were thousands of bands that came out from all over the world, and many, many hundreds, definitely pushing into the low thousands in terms of releases that were coming out by these bands. And it was just an incredibly electric and vibrant time. And some of the highest quality music that the genre has ever seen came out between the years 1995 and 1999. Volumes 1 and Volumes 2 will be focusing in on those years. There's going to be, in Volume 1, there's going to be a top 100 list of my favorite independent Power Pop albums from the 1990s. That's going to be Part 1. Part 2 is going to appear in the second volume of Power Pop Prime. And there's also the beginning of a 3-part series for the history of the Not Lame label, which, if you didn't know, was a very important label for over 16, 17 years in Power Pop, and released over 100 CDs during its time in existence, and working with a lot of great very high-profile musicians, including Jellyfish, the Posies, Dwight Twilley, Tommy Keene, Doug Powell, the Shazam, and dozens more. And Mike Barron has written a very special essay that's going to be very comprehensive and covering the entire Not Lame history and a sort of critical overview of each and every CD in there. Now, there's also going to be interviews with some of the bands from this time. Actually, where is my list of bands? Here it is. And we have interviews with, I think, about 19 artists. Some of them include the Shazam, Miracle Bra, the Rooks, the Nines, Dom Mariani, Bill Lloyd, the Sponge Tones, Shoes, the Shambles, Ken Sharp, Splitsville, Walter Clevenger, Sunsodden Half, and a whole bunch more. Now, this is the thing that's really cool about Volume 1, is, in case you didn't know, during Not Lame recordings time, I published a lot of mail order catalogs, printed mail order catalogs, especially between the years 1995 and 2004. When I did them with great frequency. And these catalogs were almost like magazines. They were incredibly informative, enlightening, and they were very exciting if you were part of this scene back then. When they came arriving into your mailbox, there were reviews that were actually quasi-sales copy because it was a mail order catalog, but they were very, very, I don't know, just informative reviews and information on the releases of that time. And what I've done is I've professionally scanned all the catalogs from this time period, and over the next 3 volumes in the Power Pop Prime series, Volume 1 coming out in the middle of May, Volume 2 at the end of June, and then Volume 3, which I'm not sure when that's going to come out yet. But every single catalog has been scanned and is now archived as a reference, as a very informative library of amazing information that documents certainly the history of the genre, but will kickstart and spark a lot of interest and a lot of exploration into a lot of releases and bands and labels that you've not heard of, or if you were around back then, haven't heard about in a very long time. So those are going to be sort of spread out over those 3 books. So if you follow me, you can get some more information on everything that's going to be in the book below here. But I just wanted to shoot this very short video and sort of fill you in and encourage you to get moving and become part of this series. There are copies of the previous books left. There's not a lot left of Volume 7. I forget the numbers on that. And with Volume 9, I have a couple dozen left of that one. So you can go on this site and you can order those as well, and look for more news on upcoming books in the Power Pop Prime series, but also another new series that is going to be announced very, very soon as well. All right, thanks for taking the time and watching this video.